of spirit has been described by so many people from ancient time. It is nothing new that I am telling you, that a human awareness reaches a point where it starts seeing that there has to be something beyond. And at that time the seeking starts, and a person starts looking forward to something that will make that person the spirit. As all the scriptures have described and talked about it, there is no amount of talking is going to improve on that, because spirit is within us. It resides within us in our heart. Now, as it is, you must have heard many people talking about it, that you have to be spirit, that you have to get your self-realization, you have to have self-knowledge, you have to know yourself. But in Sahaja Yoga today, what one has to do is to establish that, to actualize that, to make it an experience of your own. And this is a very big gift, I think a very unique discovery that has come to us, that we can actualize it. Now we have to understand one simple thing, that when the spirit manifests within us, what should happen on the very gross level? What should happen? Firstly, it must be invigorating. Means you must get more energy in the body, you must feel physically better. By going to any process or any method or any experience, if health-wise, if you cannot improve, then must know that it is not the spirit. Because spirit is complete health, or it never gets sick. That is what spirit is. So first thing that should happen to you is that it should be an invigorating life, a very dynamic life. The second thing that should happen to you is that you become a very peaceful and a relaxed personality. Not like the ones who were agitated and were angry and shouting. There is nothing to shout and get angry. It's a kind of a fear these people have perhaps, that if the truth they face or if the reality that comes, they will have no place in this world. That might be one of the reasons which makes them agitated. A person like Christ, about whom people talk and think that Christ is in their pocket, must know that first and foremost thing, the greatness of Christ was that he used a weapon of forgiveness. He was such a peaceful person, and the cross also, that he said that forgive those who are doing this, O Father, because they do not know what they are doing. That kind of a personality, you can say, is a spiritual personality, and not a person who gets agitated and hot-tempered and starts shouting at people. The time today is extremely precarious, which we do not realize. For example, if you ask these people, if Christ comes and stands here, how will they recognize Christ? Is there any way of recognizing Christ? They might be the ones who crucified Christ because they did not recognize at that time. How will they recognize Christ? Is a very simple question which we never try to answer. There is no way to understand how we are going to recognize Christ. A very, very simple question has no answer, because you cannot. You cannot recognize Him, because your awareness cannot make you understand. Like somebody told me that there's somebody who claims that he's Christ. I said, all right, ask him to walk on the water. If he can walk on the water, then think that he's Christ. That's one of the qualities of Christ. Now, whatever is the quality of a particular advent is to be seen in that advent. Every advent has a particular quality which is being already described in the ancient books. You should not accept anybody because he says, I am this and I am that. This is the problem with us, that we get ourselves wedded to some sort of a mental conception, live with it. Our forefathers live with it, their forefathers have lived with it, and ultimately we find there's nothing left. So one has to know that when you, at least when you say that you believe in Christ, how will you recognize if Christ comes in? Is there any method? Is there any sure method that will tell you that he is Christ? There is. If you become the spirit, you have vibrations. You feel the cool breeze. You have a new awareness, a vibratory awareness. The fifth dimension within you rises into that point, by which when you ask, is this Christ? The vibrations will flow tremendously. You will know this is Christ. If he is a fake person, you might even get blisters in your hand. You might even get terrible heat from such a person. But if it is Christ, you will get tremendous breeze in your hand. This is a sign how to make out whether he is Christ or not. That's why he said that you will be calling me Christ, Christ, I won't recognize you. Neither you will recognize him. That's a fact. You live with an idea, with a mental projection, and then you kill all your possibilities, chances of your ascent. You must keep yourself open like a scientist does. Keep yourself open. Your mind should be open. You should not close down by any dogma or any kind of such theory that makes you completely excluded from the rest of the thing, or which makes you non-reflective, which makes you a person who cannot reflect, cannot think anymore about it. Such a personality, if you develop, it is going to be very, very dangerous for you. So the personality should be open, should be receptive to understand. Now, as I told you yesterday, that it is a spontaneous happening, is the happening of the living process with. It is nothing to do with artificial things. Of course, when the churches were established, they tried to do good to people in the sense, they told them that you be in the balance, you keep to the balance and all that. But it went too far with certain things like baptism, I think, that where everybody started putting their hands on top of anyone and said that you are baptized. That's not proper. What we call anadhikar cheshta means it is unauthorized. To baptize someone is not the authority that you can get from any school, colleges, but you have to get it from God. If you are a realized soul, then you can baptize others. Everybody cannot baptize everyone. Even I don't think Christ's disciples baptized anyone. They did not. It is later on, I don't know how it crawled into the organization, that you could ask somebody to go and baptize someone. William Blake has clearly said that the priest cursed me on my head and I cried and wept. Actually, that person who has to baptize has to be a realized soul, because baptism means awakening of the Kundalini and breaking up this spontaneous bone area open to the subtle. And that you cannot do it, so you better not do it. You are unauthorized. In all humbleness and humility, one must understand that that is not your job. Say, for example, I do not know anything about the machinery or about the car. I start driving. What will happen? That same thing happens with people who do not have the authority to do God's work, start doing God's work. They land everyone into difficulties and ultimately they neutralize themselves. It is high time for all of them now to see that what they have to do through all these institutions is no dogma, nothing like that, but what you have to do is to transform people through their Kundalini awakening, through their real baptism. This is what people have realized, that there is something wrong somewhere, that we are not connected to the base. When it happens, the first thing that happens to you, that you become collectively conscious, as Warren has told. This collectively consciousness is nothing but that your attention itself, your attention, which is felt on the central nervous system, gets enlightened. In the sense that as like ether, when you touch ether, you can communicate anything from here to every place. In the same way, when you touch that all-pervading power, you can communicate through that power anywhere sitting down here. It is collectively conscious. Moreover, collectively conscious means that you can feel A person, whether he is the person, he is alright or he has a problem, or his Kundalini is in this part of the body, or if he has got some disease, you can feel also about yourself. That's the sign of light, that you automatically feel how the person is. You may not out of courtesy in your breathing say it loudly, or you may not try to inform the person. The other day one lady came to me and she was having cancer, no doubt. But I didn't tell her. I tried, and I think now she's cured. So you don't have to tell the person, because you don't have to achieve anything by telling. What you have to do is to achieve if she can be alright, if you can give them realization. But your attitude is not to cure people. That's not the attitude of the divine, because it has got common sense. If you know that a certain car is going to be a junk forever, it is of no use. You don't repair such cars. So despite the affection and compassion you have for everyone, you want to see that by giving realization to this man who is absolutely good for nothing and all that, you are just going to throw pearls before him. So you don't even want to talk to such a man about realization. Leave alone giving realization. This is such a headache to give realization to a man who is absolutely against God. Like Hitler, for example, if he says that, mother, give me realization, what should I do? It is just like that. So you have to have basically a temperament of seeking. If you are a seeker, then you get your realization and you become collectively conscious. With collective consciousness, you can also raise the Kundalini of people. You can cure people. You can mentally improve them. You can settle them with peace. Then, sitting down here, you can tell about everyone what's wrong with that person, and sitting down here, you can try to help that person. It is not a difficult thing at all, because you become that. Like you have seen a television, if it puts to the mains, it starts acting in such a fantastic manner that nobody can believe that this little box can behave like this. In the same way, this little box starts behaving in that fantastic manner. This should happen to you, otherwise you should not believe that you have got realization. It is not a make-believe thing. It is not just a mental understanding that you are twice born. It is none of the things. It is something that has sprouted within you, which has to grow. If you are lovers of truth, and if you really respect yourself as people seeking the truth and nothing else, it happens to you and you grow completely in your glory. Secondly, what happens to you is that you start understanding that it is the truth. How? Because supposing there was, as I told you, that there was a gentleman whose father was sick, and he did not know about it, he wanted to know about his father. So I said, all right, you put your hands and ask, how is your father? He just asked his father, and he got a burning sensation on this finger here. So he asked me, I decoded it. I said, this finger relates to this portion, and these are the centers of your father. If it is so, then you better ask your father, but I'm sure he must be down with very bad bronchitis. He telephoned to his mother in Scotland, because she came on the phone, and she said, your father is down with very bad bronchitis. Sitting down there, I told him how you can cure him, and after that, 4 or 5 hours he was out. It can be done. You are that fantastic. You are that glorious. So your attention becomes enlightened. There is no question of you trying to put some spirits into things and doing all these useless things. Only thing what you have to do is to awaken the spirit in that person who is sick, and the spirit takes over. Because it becomes also the truth. You start understanding that this is the truth. Because you verify it. Every moment you verify it. First you think it's a fluke. Sometimes you think by chance. You think, oh, maybe so. Later on you start seeing that it is true, it is so. You put 10 children, if they are realized souls, and there are many these days, even in your country I have seen lots of children who are born realized. If you tie up their eyes and put one person before them. And you ask them, what's the matter with this man? You tell us, what's the thing? They'll raise one finger, this finger, suppose. You ask him, did you have a heart attack? This shows the heart. Yes, I had. How do you know? I said, all of them are showing one finger, this is the heart. And then you start understanding that this is the truth. There is no argument, there is no other opinion about it, only one opinion, because truth is absolute. Somebody says this is Christ, somebody says that is Christ, somebody says this is Krishna, that is Rama. It is never like that. It is one. The truth is one. You cannot have two opinions. And is absolutely your subject becomes enlightened and you can say this is the truth. So the second thing that happens to you, that you start knowing the truth which is absolute. Now if you put your hands, say like this, now as you have become a computer, you are a computer which has started. Even all these instruments that have come are parallel to our evolution. Whatever is within us has come. But if you see a computer, it has to think. But without thinking, I mean, I look at you, I know you are there, I don't have to think about it. This kind of a computer, human beings will take thousands of years even to make, that just thinks and spontaneously knows. We are already such a big computer, but we are even become absolute computers when we start asking a question, is there God? Now those who are atheists, if they ask a question, they start getting cool breeze in the hands. You ask any absolute question, was Christ the Son of God? Why should people accept Bible? Why should they accept anything? They accept this. Because if you ask, you get the breeze, cool breeze in the hand as an answer. Then you know it as a truth. But could be, people should know that how it is absolute. I'll tell you an example, like as we have some fanatics here, in India we also have lots of fanatics. And in Pune, they had arranged my program in a hall where it was belonging to Brahmins. They are another type of twice-born people, self-certified. So they learned that I'm not a Brahmin. So they were very angry, they said we can't have her programming. And these organizers did not tell me that, Mother, they don't want to have your program because you are not a Brahmin, nothing they told me. But they went and told that, all right, if you don't want to have, we'll publish it in the newspaper because Mataji is not a Brahmin, so they don't want to have her program there. And this was too much for them to take up upon themselves. So they said, no, if you have published it in the newspaper, let's have the program. So I started speaking, and I just said spontaneously, I said, please come forward, those who think they are real Brahmins. 4 or 5 of them, she walked. Of course, I mean, in India you don't find people of this kind normally. They don't challenge a saint normally. So they came forward and sat down, and their hands were shaking like this. You see. So I said, now if you are real Brahmins, why are you shaking? You should not shake before me. They said, Mother, we are shaking because you are Shakti, you are the power, that's why we are shaking. I said, no, nobody is shaking here. So they said, no, but these 3, 4 are shaking, aren't they? I said, go and ask them, who are they? So they went and asked, who are you? They said, we are certified lunatics coming from lunatic asylum. Our doctor has brought us that because one of us was cured by Mataji, so we are here. So I said, see, there's no difference between those lunatics and you. You are shaking the same way and they are also shaking. So this fanaticism is making you shake. And this is the main point, is that when you become the truth, you start understanding the absolute nature of truth. There is no another for truth. If this is so, this is so. If this is so, this is so. You cannot compromise, you cannot make it little different, you cannot synthesize it, you cannot analyze it. It is so, it is so, it is so. And you get confirmed about it. When you grow in your awareness, you start finding out that this is the truth. So you understand the truth through your mental activity first, through your rationality, it goes into your logic, and then you start accepting it. But the third thing that happens to you is the best of all, is the third thing, that you see the whole world as fun. You see the whole world as a big joke. You see the whole world as a witness. Like a thought rises within us and falls off, and another thought rises and falls off. When we are on the waves of the thought, we are frightened, we have fear, we have worries, we have jealousies and all those things. But supposing you got into the boat, then you start watching the waves with fun. In the same way, you jump onto such an awareness where you start watching the whole thing as a joke, as a fun, as a play. And the whole thing becomes a play to your mind, you start seeing. And then the joy starts pouring in. Like you all say that Mona Lisa painting is very beautiful. But how do you know? Why so great about Mona Lisa? She is not one of these modern women. She is a very old-fashioned woman, quite plump. And why do you say that that painting is so beautiful? What's so much about her? Now, if you are a realized soul, you can see it gives vibrations. It soothes your spirit. That's why it is the best. If you go to the Sistine Chapel of the Vatican, what Michelangelo has done is nothing but he has created vibrations there, tremendous vibrations. And you see Christ, how they have shown Christ there. A robust, tall fellow standing there, throwing people here and there. This is what is happening today. This is the time of judgment. And the whole thing is nothing but the Kundalini they have shown, and at Agya Chakra, Christ is standing there and throwing people this side and that side. This is what it is. He is depicted there through his own understanding, because he was a realized soul. He showed it very clearly. But there on the altar you find a lanky-panky Christ, you see, absolutely like a TB patient about to die, only the bones, you see, covered with the, what you call, a skin. How can Christ be like that? It's sadism towards him. Let these people try once to carry the cross, and they will know that he could not be like that. He could not be such a lanky-panky. He is a person of joy, health, happiness, and exuberance. How can be anyone who is a man of God, is sickly, agitated, hot-tempered, and horrible looking? He has to have that serene on his face. He has to have that beautiful, soothing impression on others. How can it be that a person who is such a great incarnation came on this earth to be a bony structure like that? This is what it is. We have such misconceptions about all of them, such misconceptions, and we want to put all these conceptions on God, but you cannot conceptualize God. The thing that stands between you and yourself is your ego and your condition. Both things stand against you. They are like barriers. When this Kundalini rises, as you see here, it's not here. When she rises and crosses over this center,
they didn't bring the chant today.
Then what happens? Your ego and superego, which represents your conditioning, is sucked. When it is sucked in, that is the center of Christ. When he is awakened within you, he sucks it. That's the place where he is at the cross. Tomorrow, I think they'll bring the chart and I'll be able to explain to you in more details. And that is the time when you are neither the ego nor the superego and you become the self. The joy starts trickling. The whole thing is joy. The joy starts coming in you. All other pursuits are joyless. There is no joy in the whole thing. And joy doesn't have duality like happiness or unhappiness. Happiness comes to you when your ego is pampered, and unhappiness comes to you when your conditioning troubles you. But joy has no duality. It's just a feeling of complete elevated soul. You feel completely elevated above everything else, enjoying the bliss of God. Actually, if you see, Mona Lisa's painting even, you'll feel the joy is pouring just like torrential rain. The person who did it must have been the one who has felt that joy has brought it. But if there is a person who is always thinking and trying to think it out, what should be done, then he doesn't get the joy at all. You look at a thing and there is a thought in between. It kills the joy completely. Supposing I am here and I see something beautiful here and I start thinking about it. Then I start thinking how much it must have cost, how to insure it, what to do with it. But if there is no thought, the complete creation of that beauty flows inside you, just like joy. And this is what has to happen to you if you become the Spirit. If it does not happen to you, don't believe in anyone, also me. You should not believe into anything unless and until you get to your Spirit which manifests all these things. It has nothing to do with your intellectualizing, your analysis or anything. It is something that you have within yourself. It's your own. It is within you, and you have to get it within yourself by your own achievements. In the sense, your own Kundalini rises and touches here and opens it up. Now, as I told you, what I do is a simple thing, that I enlighten and a light which is ready, which is again in turn becomes enlightened and can enlighten another light. Now this Dr. Warren, who was here, you have seen, he came to me with his friend and he just telephoned to me, had nothing, he had just a telephone number. And when he telephoned to me, he came to me, he got his realization, and he must have given realization in thousands. In the same way, you can also give realization to people. That's how we can spread the knowledge that is reality. Knowledge of God's laws, of divine mechanism within us, how it works. It is not that everyone can get it. I must say that I do not say that all of you will get it, but should get it. That's my desire, is if you get it, you are very fortunate. You have found what you have been finding it. And if you don't get it, I would say that I'll try again. It has to happen to you, and that it should happen in a way that it becomes part and parcel of your central nervous system that you can maneuver it. So, I have to tell you one thing, the one who has created us is anxious that you enter into his kingdom and enjoy the bliss of his throne. May God bless you. I would like you to ask me questions, but not like the way yesterday it happened. People said that, Mother, don't ask them to ask questions, because as soon as you ask them to ask questions, they start behaving like devils. There is no need to be aggressive with me. What is the need? I have come here to give what is your own. Why should you be angry with me? I just don't understand the psychology. I have not come to take away anything from you.
I think they're outside, so they're not in here.
All right. Ask me questions, please.
Yes. You said that the truth was universal and the same for everyone. And I'm of the idea that for an individual, their reality is strongly influenced by their belief of what reality is.
What did he say?
And I
He said, just a moment. He said that, as you have said, truth is universal and that it is reality, but everybody's concept of reality may be different.
Yeah, it is. I know that. It is true that the concept has to be different, isn't it? Has to be different, because everybody has their own brain and to understand and think it through their brain. But when you become the reality, then there is no more concept, it's reality itself. Because you start working through your consciousness, through your central nervous system. It is no more a concept, it becomes the reality itself. That's true, that it has to be different. Naturally, I understand that. I don't mind having them different concepts. But don't believe in your concepts, because it has given no results. It has shown no results so far. That's all.
The concepts dissolve.
Concepts dissolve. Yes, that's what happens. Concepts dissolve when you see the reality. For example, supposing I have not seen this. church, and some people say that's in a church. I may have some funny concept about this church, I have not seen it. Alright? When I come in, I see it for myself, and I know this is it, so I will have no concept, I will know what it is. It's like that. Simple, it's common sense. I tell you, it is real common sense. Actually, you'll be shocked how people live with concepts. Sometimes I'm really surprised how they have built up all their lives after lives on falsehood. It's really surprising. But they live because, you see, ego likes the myth. It wants to live with myth. Like Hitler believing that they are a superior race. Imagine, he killed millions and millions of people with that kind of a myth that he had in his head. Like Khomeini thinks he is the greatest religious man and that God is going to put him in his throne. It's true, you see the effects of these concepts everywhere. The problem is the concept only. That's the main problem why we are fighting. Now, see, let's one by one, alright, please. Now, one this side, one this side.
Could you please talk about the love and compassion of the Divine Mother and the qualities? Talk about that.
He's asked you to speak about the love and compassion of the Divine Mother and her qualities.
Now, this is embarrassing, isn't it? How can Mother talk about her love? You can judge it by the Mother Earth. Mother Earth has a capacity to nourish us. She has a capacity to soothe us. She has a capacity to sustain all that we do to her. How cruel we have been with her. First of all, we commit all kinds of sins, we do all kinds of wrong things on our back. Then we extract. For our stupid ideas of having all kinds of things, we extract things from her. Still, she doesn't say anything. She doesn't bother about those things. But sometimes you go too far with her, then she punishes us. She does punish. Like you have earthquakes, you have many things like that. But she has a very special capacity, which in Sanskrit is described as Ritambhara, means by which she creates seasons to please us, to make us happy. The innocent creation of seasons that she has. You see the flowers, you see everything, how she makes the life so beautiful, humorous, so joyful. That thing is pragya, means the knowledge which is enlightened. When you get that knowledge, then you are amazed how kind she is. How she looks after you, little, and how she soothes you down. I'll give you one of my examples, how I try to console people in my own system. One day there is a very big saint living in a mountain, working his legs and hands were broken and all that, so he disappeared. He lives in a cave somewhere in the mountain. And he cannot move about, so he has a tiger, so he moves on a time. And I told people I must go and see him. He's my son. They said, Mother, you don't like all these gurus, why are you going to him? I said, he's not that, he's a real one. So they said, how are you believe? I said, you feel these vibrations? They said, yes, lots of vibrations. Went to see this gentleman. Now he is a very evolved personality and he can control the rain. So when I was going up the hill, it started raining very heavily. And he got very angry with the rain. Naturally he felt that what's happening? This rain is completely drenching my mother. She's coming up. I can't even control this rain. What will she think as it is? She has to come up to see. Because he has broken legs and broken hands. And then I went there, he didn't talk to me, he was sitting on a little stone and he was just doing like this with anger. So I just smiled and I went and sat. Then he came and he said, is it to control my ego you did all this, that you made this place rain like this when you are coming to my house? I can't even welcome you properly. I said, no, it's not so. Why are you angry? I know you have got a sari for me. And I don't take a sari from a sannyasi because I am a girl and I am the one who is a household. Then how will I take a sari unless and until this sari gets drenched? The whole thing became such a sweet thing. He forgot all his temper, everything. How do you know whether I have a sari for you? I said, I know you got a sari for me. So I have to change it, and how will I change it? So the whole thing stood down. He was normal. But I said, you feel for me. I am coming to you, and all the place must be drenched. It's the joy of loving. So why should you feel bad about it? And that is how he stood down. So the mother's love is such that she suits you, she knows your problems, she knows that you make mistakes. Like I'll tell you about Mr. Warren, one of his stories. Many stories that he can tell you one after another. But one day I was in Singapore and we were going to Kuala Lumpur for a program. So I said, we'll go about 6 o'clock, it's all right, I have to see somebody, we'll all go together. Why are you in a hurry to go? They said, no, we must go make arrangements. And another lady was organizing, was even very much more worried. So they decided that we must go to the hall early. I said, all right, I'm going out to wait for me. But they just thought, better go. So they took a plane 2 hours earlier and went to the place of organizing. Now when I went there, I saw that when my car reached there, their car also reached and they were just getting down at that time. And I knew what had happened. So I said, all right, now drive on, otherwise they'll feel very embarrassed. Because they came with such a determination to reach earlier and they are reaching at the same time when I arrived. So I drove on. When I came back, they said, Mother, we are sorry. I said, what happened? They said, we reached here early, all right. But from the airport to this place, there was such a bad jam we had never seen. So we thought we better drive through the side road. So we got stuck into the mud. Then we started pulling the car out and all our clothes got dirty and we had a very bad time. And we arrived after you had arrived. I said, it's all right. So now we never do such a thing, Mother. We should have come with you. It was a mistake. So like that, it's a little things. Mother teaches you how to be alright, how to be on right path. But it is never a big pinch, it's never a big punishment because you are children. So here it is love by which you should advance, you should go further, you should be encouraged. But if your ego gets pampered and you think, oh, I'm a great surgeon, there are many who believe like that. And then they have these correction points. That's how it works. And gradually I find people come up very sweetly understanding that we should not try to do things which are not all right, and we should try to do something that is helpful, which is very collective. And that's what it is. It works out in such a beautiful manner that you don't have to shout at anyone or to do anything. Whole thing works out in a beautiful way. But the blessings are so great, like Krishna has said, Yoga Kshema Vahamyam. He says when yoga takes place, then Kshema, that means the well-being of a person I am helped. Even materially you are helped in so many ways. It's very surprising. It's wonderful. You are helped materially in so many ways. There was a little girl of 10 years, she wrote to me, Mother, I'm dying to see you. How can I come to India? I have no money to travel. And she wrote a letter to me. I just read the letter. I never answered her. And 8 days later, she had a treat in her school. So she took a trinket from her house just to sell it in the field. So the teacher said, this is real gold. How can you sell this here? She couldn't believe. She went to Mother. She said, this trinket of her house has got real gold. She couldn't believe it either. So they went to the goldsmith, and goldsmith said, yes, it is gold. And he valued it. The price at which he wanted to buy was exactly the same as they would have to pay for their traveling, both of them. So it is in such a sweet manner. You see, you must know a loving mother, when you are asleep, she looks after you. When you are awake, she looks after you. But she doesn't show that you are something else, more than others, better than others. She doesn't like you to have your ego, but she wants that you to share. Share your love with anyone. That's the greatest joy for me to see when these Sahajogis meet each other. When they go to India, you should see how they meet and how they hold each other to themselves in such pure love and pure understanding. It's the greatest thing to see. I'm happy you asked such a nice question, but I feel rather embarrassed because it is really so great to enjoy your Lila forever. May God bless you.
It's been described by Adi Shankaracharya.
You must read Adi Shankaracharya and know the love of God, love of Mother Ami. He was a real child, a real beautiful child. described. Even Christ in the cross said, behold the mother. Behold the mother. It's very significant. What else? Now should we have a realization?
Okay. Shall we have it now?
Have I answered your questions here, this side? This one need. 2%. Go ahead. Loudly, please.
Loudly.
Yes, you're one of the few people whom I've ever heard say anything about the Christ and how we recognize him. There's a lot of different theories and stories about this. What I want to ask you is, in your knowledge or in your belief, which I don't know, that if he will come or is here already in physical form, or as they say, the second coming of Christ in the Bible, that your belief or knowledge might be concerned.
She's referring to the, you said, how will you recognize Christ? You referred to that. So she raises the question, what is your idea, your theory, your concept of Christ? Will he be coming on a white horse? Will he be, is he going to come? Is this going to happen? Is what?
Yes, all that is going to happen. No doubt. I'm not concerned about it, that's the fact. Yes. But that time he's not going to give any lectures. He's not going to allow you to ask him questions. He's not going to give any answer. No realization, nothing. Just starting out, the last starting out will take place. He has got 11 powers of destruction. He's called as a Kalachana. Once he arrives, you will have no place to hide your faces if you are not living. It's time now that we join him just now, at this moment. Otherwise, there is no saying it's a fact, no doubt what you're saying is absolute true. But I don't want to frighten you. Because that's how people are trying by frightening others. I don't want to frighten you, but it's a fact. That will be last song. Already it has started working within us. All these incredible diseases are also expression of the same. According to Sanjaka, there are 11 destroying powers. They are here, which we call as Ekadashi. And when people get any of these diseases, all these centers go out of it. So, the destruction is now going to come from within, not from without so much. We need not be afraid of Russians bombing us, we are bombing ourselves. No,
Yes.
one more.
One more, this is the last. Yes.
Yes, the reason transport.
Is it considered spiritually appropriate to read one intuitively as my dream, my soul is your soul, and with that gentle awareness of tuning into the other person and the healing procedure will more or less take place in accordance to one's own purpose? How is that?
I'm sorry, I can't. Will you stand again and just say it again?
Make it short.
Make it very brief.
The idea of a soul greeting another soul. My soul is your soul.
The idea of us and one soul greeting another soul.
All right. From that standpoint, you are tuning into that higher level of awareness. The healing procedure necessary at that point in time would take place in accordance to one soul alignment with person. Am I do that correct?
I think you have another concept about healing, but let's analyze it.
No.
She's talking about one soul to another and the healing process, and is there any particular way in which we should do this?
No. We should never bother about the souls that are leave them alone. Christ has said that leave the dead alone, have nothing to do with the dead.
She needs her own soul, isn't it?
Living soul you mean to say, or dead souls?
Living.
Living. Now the living soul cannot talk to another soul unless and until they become the spirit. At that level only you speak to each other on a very different language. The language is different, the style is different, and the communication is different. The whole priority changes. You become a different person. Alright? Like an egg becomes a bird, and then the birds have a different language among themselves.
That's fine, she's happy.
She's happy about it? Alright. Alright.
Okay, that's it.
Alright? Are you all satisfied? Now there's one or two more. Alright. 4. Now that's going to be...
One of the men.
Alright. Now where should I ask? Also, ladies have a...
What is a dead soul? You just asked, was it a dead soul or a living soul?
What did she say?
What is a dead soul and she thinks of a living soul?
I don't know, it's a very big question, my child. I'll tell you later on if you don't mind, alright? If you require something later. Doesn't matter. But we are made of 5 elements, alright? And there is Kundalini within us, and also there is death. Now, the dead soul, when one dies, it never dies fully. What happens is that the earth element comes out and the water element also comes out, but the rest of the 3 elements remain, and the spirit and the Kundalini remains on top of that. And that is the dead soul. And the living soul is a person which has got the spirit. I think so, that is the soul. I don't know, the English words are quite confusing. But a jivatma, we call it, a person who is living, has got a spirit, has got a Kundalini, and has got
5 elements.
also all 5 elements represented in those centers. But when he becomes a realized soul, then he is not called as a living soul, but he is called as an enlightened soul.
I am a disciple of Swami Shabdas from southern India, perhaps you know. And since I have met him, I've experienced tremendous joy and tremendous mystical experiences at the same time as a lot of pain. And is that a necessary experience that a person must go through in order to...
She's met a guru in South India. She's had a lot of good experiences, but she's also had a lot of pain. Is it a necessary experience that you should have the pain as well as...
No, not necessarily at all. Actually, what is the good experience? First, let us decide on that. The good experience, it should not be ego pattern. That should be the self. Now, what is the experience you get? First of all, you should get a cool breeze coming out of your, on the very good side, and out of your head, and there should be cool breeze you should feel around. Then the second experience you should have is that you should feel completely peaceful with yourself, absolutely silent, and there is no problem of any kind. And if you get any pain, supposing after realization also you might get some sort of a pain or hurt and all that. As soon as you put your hand there, you can get rid of the pain. So it is the experiences that you have had should be the experience of the spirit. And if he is a person who has given realization, he would have told you how to be an expert. You see, this is the trouble. The gurus, if they give realization, they make you an expert.
I wasn't referring to physical pain, I was referring to this pain as we deal with our life experience.
So so was Sri Mataji. She was speaking of the same.
Yeah, what did she say?
She wasn't referring to just physical pain. She was referring to pain in facing up to life and so on.
Pain in what?
Pain in facing up to life's problems and the wider meaning of the word pain.
No, that must stop. That must stop completely. Because you start seeing the whole thing. As drama, you are so attached to the whole thing, you see so well that you can solve the problem. You see, the thing is, if you become the spectator of the whole drama, and if you know that you can cure it, you don't feel the pain, on the contrary, you take the responsibility. Alright?
have it.
Now how do you know? Alright, now we have already here. Now this side. What is it?
I wonder, first, I have two questions actually. One, what is your feeling is the basic cause of disease? And
Just one at a time.
What is the basic cause of disease?
It's imbalance. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you all about it. It's imbalance.
Second?
Second one?
so I was wondering, what are your feelings about Sai Baba?
I'm not going to believe people. If there is Shri Sai Baba, he is perfectly alright. He is the incarnation of the Brahman Master. All the rest of them, I don't know. Now, who is there?
Could you speak about karma?
Huh?
Karma.
No?
Can you speak about karma?
Oh, the karmas are nothing but action what you do, the byproduct of that is accumulated in your ego. And when Kundalini rises, when she passes through the center, that is Sakti. That's why he said that Christ forgive us our sins. He's taken over, he died for our sins. In the sense that karma are sanctified. And we are left without an ego, and it is only the ego that does the karma. Once the ego is sakti, there is no karma. Can I say all of those? Alright. Now, just ask one more question, alright? Now they are anxious to have the experience. Please ask one question.
Do you mean we create karma?
Do you mean that do we create karma?
Yes, we do. When we do action, you see, karma is only the myth that human beings have. Animals don't have. They don't have this problem. The trouble is, when the ego and superego, both of them grow on our head, then we develop a personality, which is I. I am Mr. So, I am Mrs. The iris is developed. When we develop the iris, we think that we are beings. This is a myth we get. Like I give an example of the villagers saying Peter that you don't have to take too much luggage on an aeroplane. So they sat in the aeroplane and they put all the luggage on their heads. And they said, now we should lessen the weight of the aeroplane. It is something like that is our karma. That we take the responsibility of doing the work. While we don't do any work ourselves, if you see, what work we do is all dead. Now a tree is dead, so we make a house. Alright. Dead from the dead to the dead to the dead. That's all we do. We make a chair, we make this, we make that, and then we start using the matter for our comfort, and then matter sits on our head, we can't get rid of it. Our spirit is suppressed because of the matter. And then we have to use the matter, otherwise we just can't exist. So what we are doing is we are creating dead out of dead. But not a single living work we can do. We cannot transform one flower into fruit, can we? We cannot do it. So whatever is done by God Almighty, by His living powers. Whatever we do is all dead, but we think we are doing, and that's why we create karma, it's related.
Okay. Just everyone slip their shoes off so as to make a better contact with the earth.
What is it?
Put your hands up. So, it's okay, they're recording. Be comfortable and sit with your hands on your lap. And when Sri Mataji asks, just close the eyes.
Speaking every day.
All that you have to do at this stage is be hungry for it and to ask humbly for it in your heart. Please, Mother, give me my realization. Because you have to desire it. And that's where she cannot cross your freedom. If you don't want it, then as she says, you're free to go. But if you want it, put your hands out and ask humbly in your heart, please, Mother, give me my realization. We have to humble ourselves down.
Now, we have to just put our hands like this. Yesterday I told you, day before, that the left hand represents our desire and the right hand our action. So we have to use the left hand for desiring. Put it in your lap like this, with your fingers stretched, and sit comfortably. That's very important to sit comfortably so that there is no problem in your eyes. Shoes you can put back under the chair and put your feet straight like this on the ground, not touching each other. Put the left hand on your lap. And the right hand, I'll tell you how to use it. Just now you can put both the hands on your lap. And now close your eyes. Now don't open your eyes till I tell you, because Kundalini won't rise. It's not hypnotism. Something has to happen within. So just keep your eyes completely closed till I tell you. Now put your right hand on your heart, on the left hand side, and press it. Now you are the spirit, and the spirit resides in your heart. So you have to just ask the question 3 times. Mother, am I the spirit? Just ask, in a humble way, and with full confidence. Mother, am I the spirit? Please don't feel guilty. That is one thing I will request you not to feel guilty at this moment. Forget the past. Just forget the past. Now keeping the right hand, left hand as it is, bring the left hand down on your stomach, on the left hand side, to a center which is of the primordial master. Right hand, sorry. Left hand towards me, left hand, sorry, I made a mistake. Put your left hand towards me. And right hand on your stomach, and press it hard. Press it hard on the left hand side of your stomach. Put the right hand on the left hand side of your stomach. At this point, you have to say with full confidence, Mother, I am my own guide. Mother, I am my own guru. Mother, I am my own master. With full confidence. Try to sit comfortably. Now, this has to be said 10 times, because we have 10 relances. Human beings have got 10 relances. So we have to say it 10 times. Now, please put your right hand again to nourish on your heart. Here you now assert by saying, Mother, I am the Spirit. Please say 12 times. You assert without feeling guilty, without feeling guilty, without feeling guilty. You must assert that, Mother, I am the Spirit. Please don't feel guilty. Best thing would be to put your right hand on the base of your neck, on your shoulder, on the left hand side. Right hand. From front, yes. On the left hand side. Here, you hold it tight. From the front, you take your hand and be comfortable. And hold it tight. Here you say, Mother, I am not guilty. Please say it 16 times. Please say it. Please say it with all your understanding that, Mother, I am not guilty. It's too much.
Is it? Yes, it is. It's just a little back.
Now, put your right hand across your forehead. Across your forehead. At this point, you have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone. Please say, Mother, I forgive everyone. It's very easy to say, just say it and it will work out. Now, put your right hand on the back of your head. Hold it tight. If you know the optic lobe where it is placed, on the back of your head. At this point, you have to now say, without feeling guilty, you have to say, that if I have done any mistakes, oh Lord, please forgive me. That's all. But don't feel guilty. Please don't feel guilty. Don't count them. Just say that please forgive me. From your heart. Now, put your hand on the top of your head. Put it just on top. Your hand, your palm should touch the fontanelle bone area where you had a soft bone in your child. And press it and try to move it clockwise. Now at this point, as I said, I cannot cross your freedom and you have to ask for your realization. Otherwise, I cannot force it. So just say 7 times, Mother, I want my realization, please give me realization. 7 times. Now raise your hand and see if there's a cool breeze coming in. Now change your hands. Put your right hand down and the left hand on top of your head. And now see, raise it little high, about 6 inches high. 6 inches high. Speak. Got it, most of you. All can raise both your hands on top of your head. Open your eyes. Raise them high up. And now ask the question in your heart: is this the wind of the Holy Ghost? Is this the Brahmasha? Is this the all-pervading power of love of God that does all the living work? Now feel it yourself. Those who have come for the second time must have definitely felt it, but I'll tell you today what is to be done tonight and work it out. It will be better. You might get a photograph from these people tonight. In the beginning, it's better to use my photograph because it has got vibrations. Now what you can do is to put a candle in front of the photograph and you can see the vibrations are coming from the photograph. Now put the left hand towards the photograph and right hand like this. Just now you can do it. Put the left hand towards me and the right hand like this. Now this is the balance. This is the balance we are doing. Put left hand towards me and right hand out like this at the back. You see, like this. So we are ventilating. Alright. Now see on the left hand if it is coming. They are all particles, if you see that. Now, you put your right hand towards you and left hand like this. Heart. You have to believe that you are the Spirit. That's all you have to believe. You have to believe in yourself. That's all I want you to believe in. That you are the Spirit. Good? Then I'll teach you how to raise your Kundalini tonight when you go home. So this is what you can do on the photograph, and you can see that it starts flowing from both your hands. At the most, if you are very much sort of intention or anything, if you are very sick, then you can take a little bowl of water with little salt in it and put your feet in that bowl and take the vibrations from the photograph. But if you feel cool breeze in your hand and cool breeze moving in this hand, then everything is perfect. Now you have to learn. Tomorrow I'll tell you what it means, how to use it, how to become a master. It's a simple thing. Now today I'll teach you how to raise your own Kundalini, which is your own. Now put your left hand in front of the Kundalini. Here. All of you sitting now. Can you see me? Put your left hand like this, just like this in front. Like this in front. This hand like this. The right hand has to be moved up, front, down, back, like that, clockwise. You have to raise it. Now, let us raise our Kundalini. Start it moving slowly, like this, like this, like this, and throw your hands up, absolutely loose, and then give it a twist. Throw your head back, and now give it a knot. That's one. We have to do it twice. Again, let's do it. Hold the hand in front and start moving it. Take it up, throw your hands and just give it a twist. And here it is. Third time, you have to give 3 twists. You can do it at home. Throw back your hands, head and hands loose, and give it 1, then the second one, and then the third one, like this. Now see, it will improve. Now, there's one thing more one must learn, how to give protection to your aura. That is very important. Protection to your aura, I wish people knew how to do it, they would have saved themselves in many troubles. Is to put your left hand like this. And with the right hand, you move it like this. From here, move it. 1, go back. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is how you give protection to yourself. Now see your vibration. Alright? It's better. Now what happens, that when you are judging others' vibration, you can just start judging like this, it's alright, or give him a bondage like this. It's the bondage of love, because it is flowing through your hands. When you move your hands, actually the power is flowing through your hands and fingers. So what you are doing is maneuvering. So you give it a bandhan, like we have a good luck sign, like that to him, and then see the vibrations. Now if you want to see your own vibrations, you give yourself a bandhan like this, and then see your own vibration. You try tonight, don't talk too much about it, don't argue. You are beyond mind. And that's why don't argue about it. The becoming is the most important part. Thus it is the difficult part of Sahaja Yoga. It is like no other thing that here, unless and until you become, it is of no use. You have to become, then you have to grow, then you have to become the expert, ultimately the master. That's what it is, and for which you cannot pay. May God bless you.
So that you can deepen still further, tomorrow night's program is here. There's a weekend seminar. All this information you can get at the door as you go out. Please leave your address and telephone number. We'll contact you to let you know the follow-up meetings if you are unable to come to the seminar, so that you can deepen in this process. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good evening. Those who want